Minutes to master, tools to explore. Let your imagination soar like never before. AI Tool Time with Rick McCarley, where your digital dreams come true.
Ignition.
Minutes to master, tools to explore. Let your imagination soar like never before. AI Tool Time with Rick McCarley, where your digital dreams come true.
Ignition.
Brandon,
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah, we're migrating actually to starting today over to AiTv Starship will be our new location. Stay tuned. Everything's still going to be on Rick McCauley for a little bit. We're coming to you live from Rick McCauley. We aren't broadcasting to the new station yet, are we?
Not yet. I need you to verify the account first. Just a little bit of housekeeping. But we'll get there.
I verified, but we'll get there. Okay. So stay tuned.
So I'm gonna duck out here
okay.
and go get ready for the AI Learning Lab. Run down the hall to the other studio. But I'll be back with you to wrap things up at the end. But excited to learn more about AI Midjourney.
Right. So here we go. Midjourney. So it is the most extraordinary hallucinating. This is where I, as an artist, love hallucinations. I love for it takes some idea. This is a steampunk sort of couple of characters I created. But what's cool about this is when Midjourney just got video. So take a look at this. Now, what you're seeing is basically you have 4 5-second in length ways to prompt. So I could say one thing and then add somebody else and add somebody else. So I just extended this to a full 20 seconds. And so you'll see a couple of these. So this is the original image. And then you just say, hey, put this in motion. Okay. And you can loop it too. We'll show you all these techniques and stuff. And then the trick is to get something that you really intended and something that you can then stream together. So that's kind of cool. And then I know about Iceland, black sand beach, and then I wanted to have this beautiful woman and this beautiful hair, wind blowing, and really have some action. So I tested it out. Now, this is, I don't know, 6 months ago when they first came out with video. Look at the kind of stuff they're doing. And of course, I had to do this lady. She looks like Paula Deen a little bit with her alligator at home sitting on the couch just because I could. And I'm in Florida. And how much fun is that, right? So just literally by saying, take the still picture that you have to come up with, and then just keep prompting it again and again and again, you can come up with the sequence. This is entirely done in Midjourney. I did a whole sequence of images like this, and then I just kept going. And then I said, starting with this frame, take me further and further, and then take me into a drone shot view. So learning how the different shots work. This is from my children's book, Imagine. So there's one scene where Laura gets to get on the back of an eagle to fly to the North Pole with her cat, who's called M for empathy. And so this is what it looks like when I take the still picture from my series and book, and I use Midjourney to animate everything. Now, I haven't even tried. This is 6 months ago. The cat flies off at the end there, which is kind of cool. And then I tried some other techniques, and this was Midjourney originated image and then taken over to Pika Labs for this little slice of weird-looking cake with sound effects built in. That's not, sound effects aren't quite there in Midjourney. Stay tuned, though. That's about to happen. This started with a surfer doing a selfie with a shark. And then that turned out almost disastrously, but she's a good surfer, and there it goes off. Oh, and another shark comes in, and they go under. Okay, now this is my favorite. Again, this is three months ago, 5 months ago, maybe something like that. I've been using Midjourney since 2002, October 2002, I think was my first generation. And we'll take a look at what that looks like. All this was Cleopatra kissing King Tut. This is the image I had. That's all I had. And I got 20 seconds to direct it to what to do. So I said, hey, they kiss, they go outside onto a terrace, and they oversee. And of course, I've got to put epic music to this, and I haven't done that yet. And I don't know if Cleopatra and King Tut were ever together, but This is what it would look like if 10,000 Egyptians and the pyramids, they come out there and say hello to all their fans. Um, so of course I've been scuba diving with sharks, and I've fed tiger sharks in the Bahamas. And this is what it would look like in one of those estuaries as they are capable of doing this. And of course, this is a great white. Haven't had a chance. They started to outlaw some of the great white trips that you could make. Then I said, throw a scuba diver in there. Why not? It's kind of weird. And of course, this is 6 months ago. I'm sure it's better now. And certainly, if I went in there, oh, and then we have another shark. I wanted another scuba diver to come alongside, and then I wanted to eat the scuba diver. So this is Miami Beach, and I had an outfit made out of seashells. And here we go. And then this might be on the cover of a magazine in Florida soon. As I'm up-resing the pictures, the still images that came from this. But there is even a tracking shot to the right, to the left. And here's my little turtle who turns into a flying turtle and joins all of his other turtle friends, including the little head coming out of the back of his shell, which is just too weird. And then he goes off to this castle, which rises up out of the sky, and then other turtles from around the world come and join him. So this is 6 months ago, right? And so we've been able to do this. So I started this one, based upon the famous painting of this sculptor making the love of his life and her coming to life kind of thing. And I said, wouldn't that be grand? Because I'm a single guy and I want a tree nymph to turn into a real woman when I make art. And maybe I can use Grok to have a girlfriend now. And then I just prompted into, and then it's got a woman. And then, okay, well, I don't even know where that's going, but beautiful. And that was just randomly what happened. Talking about hallucinations. So this one I was kind of playing with, well, what happens if this character that sort of fly by, we'll talk about style references. And that's where this came from. So this is a particular style. And I said she lands on the ground and then goes into a dance with others just like her in a synchronized dance scenario. Whoa. Okay. So then here's daffodils and butterflies. I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker now, but you get the basic idea. I mean, it's just so much fun. I burned through my credits. This is one of the most fun ones. And I got this image, and I don't even know how I ended up with it, but I was doing everything with sort of superheroes in this ancient monastery or some building or whatever. And then I said, turn it into an 80s style dance video and pull back the camera and then do a drop and rise. And then I can imagine her singing a song. So I said, she starts to sing. So, and then this one, I did this again. So this is just, the 60s weren't that good to me, but man, the 2000s are being really generous and really fruitful. So, if anybody's got a song they want to put to that, and this they at the end, I'm not even sure where that came from. And then we've got this with the Killer Bees 50s style video, and that's got to be a music video. And I think the Killer Bees are a new band that needs to come out. And then being born on Jurassic Park. So if you're an art director and you have a rich imagination built upon every Killer Bee movie, and then Jurassic Park, of course, out of the amber comes this giant and it takes over and eats the place. I mean, this is 6 months old technology, and this is just Midjourney alone. And I haven't even started to go anywhere else with it. So I'm going to skip over to Midjourney. This last one I did in Midjourney originally. This is what I got from Midjourney. Then I went over and did it Adobe Firefly, and the video model turned out just as good as this. So good news for you guys. If you weren't using Adobe products because it's not as good as Midjourney, well, now it's got Nana Banana and other things in it. So that becomes a thing. I remember this beautiful place in Mykonos and seeing these beautiful women just right there on the water. And I said, what would it be like if she walked out and joined the water? And of course, I like to dance, right? And I'm actually this good, but I don't have 5 of me. So give me some glasses, synchronized dancing. So I gotta write music to this. So like it's just saying, and they're all dancing in synchronization to each other. All right, so I'm going to do this one real quick because this is the movie I'm actually working on. And it's about my entire history as a human being. And I wrote a poem 5 years ago called Time, Oh Time, I Remember You Well. And so Time was talking about my life and what finite time we all have. And the art of making art is what I live for. And so then I took this picture. So it's a Xerox copy of an old photograph of Washington Macaulay, a Civil War. He fought for the North, he fought for the South. And I fed it to ChatGPT in the early days. And I said, hey, can you give me a clean version of that photograph? And this is what it did. So then I went into Midjourney with this still picture you see on the left. And at first it didn't get the Washington Macaulay correct. Then I did it Nana Banana. It gave me a different version. And then it didn't quite. If you take a look at it, it originally gave me a pipe where that sort of black mark is up where his face is. But he has something in his hand. He's got his hand in his front chest, right? So it has a chair to the right, has wainscoting behind it. So I kind of like itemized the things that I thought would be there. And I imagined that he wasn't quite that old, but I guess he kind of looks that way. I think if you're fighting a civil war. So he fought for the North, then got captured by the South, and then had to fight for the South. And then he deserted and went to Europe. And then he came back. Anyway, so there's some history. Then I said, Midjourney, hey, animate that for me, will you? He's talking to the photographer while he's having his photograph taken. And he's got a sense of humor, of course. Here's my grandpa, Benjamin Franklin. I mean, I'm sorry, Frederick Holman Macaulay, and this is World War I, right before the Battle of Verdun, actually. So here he is with his folks. There's some weird stuff going on here, but that's pretty cool. Now here's my grandfather, Holman Macaulay, who is sitting here in his Model T. And so I said, let's make that move. So this is just, it's gorgeous. And I actually told it a little bit about the street. They own streets. This is right before the crash. They were quite wealthy. They owned 4 different apartment buildings. And instead of asking people to pay for the rent, he actually let them go. They were named after each of his kids. Anyway, so I'm going to bring my entire ancestry, every image I have, I'm going to bring them all to life, including me and my 2 sisters, Dorothy and Mary. Now, I started crying, and this is the thing I'm going to kind of talk about. And this is the film I'm going to make by putting this together with sound. And my sisters both said, this is exactly what we were like. That's how we smiled. And you look at the consistency at the beginning and the end of that one. And then here are my parents before they got married. So these are kind of, they're a little bit older than senior. I think they're maybe 20 years old at the time. My mom has this kind of flirtatious thing, which I wasn't privy to that, although in her Alzheimer's days, she thought I was her husband, and she showed me a little bit of that side, a little creepy, but also kind of beautiful in a way. And my dad's smile just feels like it's me, you know, and the fact that they're happy, just, you can't imagine. So this is Midjourney. They brought my parents back to life, who I've missed so much, and brought back the moment we lived in Okinawa, Japan, when I was 6 months old. And this is, I'm about 3 years old. We almost tipped over the entire ferry as it was going to Okinawa, the island, because no one had seen a white person, much less a redhead and a blonde. And then this is my mom on the base in Okinawa, Japan, with the kids going around in circles. There's my sister Dorothy. This is before I was born, 1954, I believe, before Alaska was a state. And there's my dad. And I said, the man drinks the iced tea. And I'm thinking he's going to pick up one of those things next to him. And no, he drinks the whole pitcher, which is really kind of like, that's my dad. Here's my mom in a convertible. My uncle just bought one. So my dad took this picture from the back seat. And there she is, like just yesterday. Wow. So that's what it's like. That's why I'm doing this. And so I'm going to skip on over before I go nuts, and let's talk about Midjourney. All right. So let me just it's on the web right now. Thank goodness, because man, it was really just not good before. I'm going to pump this up just a little bit so you can see. So this is the Explore tab. This is where you see what other people are doing, and you can just scroll through these. This is all the motion video. So there's literally a billion people right now making images, and these are the best just from today. Okay. These are the viral ones that people, and then you see something you like. You just go right here. You go over here. You say, use that prompt right there. There it is. And then I can go and check the settings. Here's where you do the settings. So here's landscape. I'm going to use raw, and I have a tendency to use standard version 7. And then I'm going to use aesthetics. I'm going to get my stylization way up because that's more artistic a little bit. If you want to get really weird stuff happening, do weird. Try variety. If you want to get 4 different videos or 4 different still images, excuse me. I'm in relaxed mode because I think, let me see if I have stuff or not here. I would typically, I'm paying $60 a month, but I'm using it so often. And then if I do videos, it's going to make HD videos and the batch size is going to be 4 images. So I just hit go. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take a look in my create tab. And you're going to see these are the images that are now using this advertisement. And you'll see this, since this is in slow mode, you'll see it come up slowly. So here's what I was working on earlier. This was a prompt I did a long time ago. And we've got some new cool things. And those are called personalization. So let's take a look at, so let's just to give an idea what we're talking about here. If we get to this stage where we like an image, we can actually extend it automatically to create more video. Or here is a still image. I'm just going to go ahead and animate this one. By hitting animate, we can actually cause it to generate an animation. There's 4 of them being made right now. There's the car that we just looked at a minute ago. And then at each stage of the animation, we could come over here and say, for example, let's watch all 4 of these. If you hold down the command key, you can actually watch them in synchronization to see what they're doing. There we go. And you can go scrub forward and back. So this is a close in shot, and I can extend it manually as I want it to be changed with this change up here. So I can say, I would like this to loop. And then I can say, I would like this to be close-up of a woman, panning shot to the left. The big band behind him is being hit by a drummer who comes up from behind in a similar costume, and dancers start to approach. Okay, so 1. So when we make this, we've got one video here, and I'm extending it with this. I'm asking it to loop it back to the end frame. In fact, you know what? I'm going to turn that off because that's not good enough. High motion or low motion, I have that choice. And then now I'm directing it what to do next. So here is some of the ones that I've already done recently. I did this whole series of pictures of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, and I talked about Snow White being innocence. And then I had, this one was an old one, and I started using style references. And so to give you an idea of what style references are, I started with an image that had this great animation, and I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to choose to animate it. I might come over here and take the still image, and I might want to come in here, and I could actually do a couple of things. There we go. I want to hit edit, and I want to make sure that this becomes a 16:9 when I'm done. Let's go top right. I like that one. Okay. So first thing, I can go in and edit this so that I give it some room to kind of go, right? I could actually come in here and I could say, get rid of the background if I wanted to. I can knock it out. I can do smart selection. So I can go in there and knock out the background. I can put something else in. But just for expediency's sake, let's go ahead and just submit it just like this. And it's going to build out some more space. You know, maybe I actually want to, yeah, let me just do a rough edit here. I'm just going to, I should have done a smart edit, but I'm going to do this like this. And then I'm going to put, in a giant cityscape, dystopian, raining wet, coming out of a parking garage to the big city in the background. Nighttime, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. I don't know what's going to happen. I think I kind of messed that up. Excuse me. But so we have the ability to rotate, to change, to put text up there, to reset the prompt. We can prompt at any point that we want to do. And then our create tab basically just has all the stuff that we've created. Now, to kind of give you a little bit of more of an overview, so we looked at explore. that looks at all the cool pictures, the random ones of the day, the hot ones of the day. Oh, and fact, you're actually looking at is what's called style references, SREFs. It used to be back in Discord days. But let's say that you like the look of some of these images. So you have personality you can create. You can rate all the pictures on Midjourney, and it picks up your preferences, your aesthetic style, and it creates a personalization code. Then these are my personalization codes and my mood boards. So let's take a look at that. So what you can do though is if you like how a particular artwork is made, let me try this style, you can put that in there and it becomes part of your next creation. So you can take an image that you maybe did a long time ago and add a new code to it. So let's look at the editing capabilities. We can erase, we can retexture, which means to upload a picture and then make it into different styles. So that style reference becomes the image quality, the color, Picasso style, Rembrandt style. You get the kind of idea, right? So we can do all of that and we can layer it up and we could resubmit them, right? Then we have a personalization thing where if you turn personalization on, it basically looks at all of your tasks, which you can go in here and basically rank images in grids. So you pick, I like this set on the left, I like this one on the right, and you keep going like this. You can do this as fast as you can do it. And whatever your preferences become a personalization style based on your aesthetic choices. Kind of cool. You can turn that on and off with just coming up here and saying my personalization style, my global one, or any of the ones that you've created. Where do you get those from? From these at the bottom. These are images that I have been creating over time, or it might be me loading up a bunch of personalization stuff. So here's a bunch of images that I created. So here is, based on that, some other things that I might like or not like, but I can load up these profiles as I go. Mood boards allows you to do things like I had all these images that were kind of like the same style, very surreal. So I loaded them up. So you literally can load up as many pictures as you like. Let me go back here because my computer seems to be slowing down. I think I'm trying to ask it to do quite a bit. It's streaming everything. But what I can do is load it up on my own personality and pictures. A certain fashion, so high fashion pictures. So I went back and I picked my children's book. There's that style. And if I select this particular personalization, it then adds my personalization code to it. So if I say, and you can put multiple ones in here, but I can come up here and start a little girl named Lisa in a dandelion dress spins around as the dandelions fly off in all directions in a magical forest of golden light. Early in the morning, animals come around to watch her. Bunnies and kittens and deers and antelope all go around the magical little girl. Okay, so it's going to add that style code and then it's going to generate an image. Of course, I probably should have said it. Yeah, 16 by 9, because I'm always wanting to make videos here. So 16 by 9 just makes it easy. And there's my prompt code, right? So we can come up here and we could actually watch again that it's creating. Let me get out of this real quickly. And you can see some of the stuff that we just did. So before you saw me suggest that I wanted to have someone come in and a pullback shot, and there's people in the same outfits, and there they go. And I think I'm going to have this one extend manually. Oh, and then there's an art code. There we go. That's a fun one. So I'm going to extend automatically. Ooh, there's a black version. Oh, there's the car. Oh, that's more like it. Okay. So now I'm going to take this one. Let's see. Do I want to add a style code to this? So I'm going to open up this one, I think, and I'm going to make sure that it's not using the style code because I don't want it to have Imagine Book, right? I want to have it be steampunk. And then I'm going to turn that on, and then I'm going to, let's do very strong. So it's going to make 4 that are like this, but varied strongly. If I wanted to, I could take out this little watermark just by hitting edit. I mean, there's so many things I can do. So mood boards basically let you load up a bunch of pictures of the same type. You could actually load up, dead artists if you wanted to, or a bunch of pictures of myself that I had here. So if I select that, let me see if I can actually show you. So these are, some are real pictures of me, some are not, some are AI generated, but I've been generating images based upon my face. This is a real picture of me. And then whenever I put my this in there, it becomes pictures of me. So I can have myself all over the world doing stuff I really did. Sometimes it looks like me. Midjourney's not spectacular at this yet. There's also the capability. So this is my style code for that particular thing. Handsome professor is standing on a whale as he fights to gain balance as he's surfing. The whale is having fun in Icelandic, Arctic, cliffside area in a pool, and the whale is having a good time with this heroic, handsome professor wearing a leather outfit and ski goggles. Okay, whatever. So not my best work, but you get the idea, right? So if it's using this personalization style, if it's using Rick and steampunk, I don't want steampunk. And then if I get my settings set, aesthetics high, okay, and I'm going to see if I can get maybe a little bit faster prompt. So then I can take a look and organize. So you can download in bulk every picture you've ever made. And you can see this is what I've been working on in the last week. So this was last week when I started to do this whole, this one's really fun. I think this is one of the ones. So I got this and I turned it into an animation. And then you see this. So you've got a couple of different times you can keep animating. So it's 5, every time I hit run again, I can basically rerun or start frame or high motion. So I'm going to automatically get high motion again, and it's going to go do it again. So it'll do 4 different separate times that it's going to go through this process. I can go all the way back in the organization structure, and I'm going to take a look at just videos, and I'm going to walk through and take a look at what kind of crazy stuff I've been doing. There's stuff in here that I never even saw what happened to it, but here's a little animation for you. And there's the Wicked Witch with a particular style. Sometimes it starts to break apart. A warm, radiant illustration of a kind witch dressed in a sunlit robes, holding her wand like a paintbrush. Sometimes I'll go to ChatGPT to help me prompt. Sometimes I'll just sit there and find references elsewhere. In a couple of the cases, I'll start with something really simple, and it was a prompt that led me to these wooden people, and then I started liking it, and then I started thinking, wouldn't that be interesting if they did these different things? So I kept just kind of going back and forth and trying different things. It's an absolute beautiful way to interact with. In fact, if we go way, way back, you'll see that version 4, this is what it was like to work in. Oh, there's no video in version 4. I got to turn that off, right? So there we go. This was Hieronymus Bosch, Chaos at the Marriage Between Heaven and Hell, Joel Peter Witkin, the famous photographer. Okay, cool. What if I ran that today? So it doesn't do the proper, it doesn't use this command anymore. That was an old prompt from putting weight on this in the past. And I'll come in here and perhaps I'll go, yeah, let me just go ahead, and I don't want the Rick thing. Oh, maybe I do. Why not? Okay, let's just see what this does. I got no idea what we're going to get. So part of the randomness and the fun of this is you just kind of don't know. But if you really want to be good at it and you want to make money at this, of course, you can then start with inputs and outputs. So you can take an image that you have, like a picture of me and Nana Banana it, right? Or I can start with a picture that I found somewhere that I really like. There's a couple of artists I've been following, and I've kind of seen what they do. I even brought in the Dangerous Man. So I bring the Dangerous Man. Let's start animating this. I can have an end frame. So select an image for the end frame. Do I have an end frame for him? I'm going to have him turn into this guy. This is going to be really weird and high motion. And Man turns from a sketch into a human into a giant wall of black and white bricks. Oh, okay. This is going to be highly weird. Um, but so you can start with pictures. You can even have it describe your pictures. Yeah, 16 by 9. Let's just go let that one rip and we'll see how that does. And then we'll see what these get to do. So here's our new iterations. Okay, these, oh, that's the old ones. This is sort of the sketch drawing version of the black version of it. Here we go with more motion. Um, if you extend it automatically, it just automatically keeps on going from where it did. If you do it manually, you get to prompt inject it, meaning you get to direct it what the next camera move is. So manually, I'm going to say, everybody gets up and does a dance, all collectively 1980s style. Music video. Fun dance moves like hip hop, and the woman plays the violin as the other people around her dance. Got no idea what's going to happen there, but it's fun, right? So I'm going to keep on going. Yep, I reached the maximum number of jobs per minute, right? So I need to get on the fast mode. But here's my beautiful character. I'm using my cartoon style, and there she is. It's supposed to be a dandelion dress. Again, you don't always get what you want, and I'm not really spending my time kind of directing it. When I was doing my family members, I knew exactly what I wanted them to do. Ooh, that looks cool. Let's just go ahead. And I think I run out of, ooh, whoa, here we go. Now we're talking. So here is a drive through Anessa Lorenz. I guess that was maybe the artist that had one of the images. This is like the 20th iteration off of one prompt that looked nothing like this. My whole thing is if you find some inspiration somewhere, always make it something different, make it your own, add some value to it. And this has been my ongoing process with this particular one. And I'm going to go for more high motion. And I could go through and animate it by adding a prompt. That's what you would do if you really want to get going there. And of course, what you're going to do is you're going to spend all your credits. Even if you, so here I am as a whale, doesn't look like me at all. So if you really want to get perfect face matches, use Nana Banana for your first frame. And then you can come in here and animate it. Let me see. What have I not done in here, Brandon, and showed you? Oh, you can also go into chat mode where you chat like ChatGPT back and forth about your images. And it will load up the last couple of chats that you did. And it has the whole history of everything you've done. It looks like I'm having some problems with my browser. But the main thing, come here and get inspired by what other people are doing in the world. Come in here and don't look at the images first and see if you find people that you like and like their work. So add it to the list of things that you like. You can also search for anything you want. So if I like steampunk, then I'm going to find steampunk.
And with steampunk specifically, or any of those images like that Neapolitan cat that we have there, we can get those SREF codes, and then you can do things in that style using the SREF code. That's the one Midjourney hack that I've picked up.
Yeah. So the other thing about this is I can look in styles for steampunk as a style. Now I figure out, well, which steampunk do I want?
SREF is, style reference.
Yeah. Style reference. So this you can search for styles, which is awesome. And you can also get the hot styles. And with the word steampunk added to it, you're now going down a thoughtful choice of styles that you want to do. So if I were doing something that was sort of pinup style, maybe I might even add the word pinup in there. I don't know if it would actually find it, but there's billions of people who made trillions of images. So if you like this sort of dark kind of moody look, then you can always add things like Hieronymus Bosch or something like that, photographic, cinematic, words like that, that add to the cinematic effects. Then if you find a trial style, then you can add your own style on top of it, which would be my Rick thing. And then when you go to add that style to your choices, the two things come together And Rick is in full battle gear. And then let me make sure that took that reference. And I also want to load up the style. Oh, let me try that style from here. Okay. And then let's go generate. All right. So the beauty of this is you've got so many ways. And the trick to me is, and the reason why I bring up Spielberg is that you can just kind of randomly do this. This is, oh my God, that's just weird. Chaos at the Marriage Between Heaven and Hell, Joel Peter Whitkin. And that's with some weird styles that don't make any sense. Here I am being generated where I'm turning from the sketch picture into the dangerous man there at the end. Here is a different version, the marriage between chaos and heaven and hell. Yeah, so that didn't work out too well. And we'll kind of see what happens here in full battle gear. When you're in fast mode and you do pay $30 a month for this, there's not really a free tier that you really want to mess with. Rick in full battle gear does not look like it took on myself that well. And you can also go through and, do a riffs on something you made a long time ago. You can also download all the images from one particular day. So here's all the pictures, select them all, and then download. So you can bulk download 3,000 pictures real quickly. So we'll kind of land the plane there, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, Rick, as always,